Yes, so hi, I have to do Habakkuk over again. Because the satanic Apple people, well, they'll never use their cloud service again. I'm certain. And you people reason you don't care about your souls, even though Jesus shit is stupid. And God, he's not real. And even if he is, he's a God far off and not also a God near at hand, right? He couldn't just slank you as one of the characters. It's not his earth, right? It's yours, and we can't have the scraps from the table. You've stolen all the goods and you hack shit. Oh, you're the gods. Hey, maybe we'll give you scraps from the table. Maybe we'll censor you can't make a living. Hey, I know five people who personally bought my album off of iTunes. Hey, that should be $50. Hey, the metadata states that I have only made 10 cents off your platform. 10 cents. That's so sweet. So one person bought one track. Man. Even though, no, no. You owe me money. But I think you're watermelon, right? With the 10 number? Because you just don't learn? I said, don't fucking do that. Leave me be when I read this shit. And don't edit it. Don't change my fucking beta. Habakkuk. The burden which the prophet Habakkuk saw. Now, I set this up in the last clip, just above this one, Savvy. So I'm just gonna fucking read it, and I am in a terrible mood. I should be in good mood. There are some good things in my life. I am feeling pretty blessed, maybe, but that's because my life sucks for perpetuity. So any little inkling of hope, or friendship with anyone, in any form of sincerity, is like Christmas to me. I want you to be okay. I want you to stop being a pathological, delusional son of a bitch perjurer, just in perpetuity. Whoever you are. Do you go on Facebook and chat about how nice you went to the KFC with Delicious, and you know nothing of this? But you're gonna post about that? And you're just good and used to it in America? Burn! They're like that. No, people are getting hurt. If you want to cover for it and act like I'm so out of left field, or I'm the problem, because I state you are the fucking lying problem and I don't mind cursing and saying it to your face, through the camera, with my face. I'm not some backstabbing son of bitch that will tell you you're the best, buddy, to your face and then walk away and shank you. That's you people, and then you like to brag how you're the New Yorkers who don't do that. That's just the LA type. When you're from, wait a minute. See, there's something about Penn State people, and they're psychotic before I ever once encountered them, and I know that about them. I figure it out quick. I even thought one of them seemed savvy about the bubble boy thing. I appreciate it. Yeah, I get what you're saying. No. No. They blew the Bronx away, for God's sakes. They're so cool. They come from white bread town called State College. And wait a minute. I don't mean that. Everybody's different. Even if you're twins, one could be really cool and sincere, and the other one's a ripoff. A user. Hey, you want to develop a pilot called Tish Kids or whatever? No! Mind your own business! Habakkuk. The burden which the prophet Habakkuk saw. Now, Habakkuk is a prophet. He's back in the day, and he sees about something in the future, in the time of some other prophet or a watcher. Now, I could interpret that as people like us. Maybe me, maybe you, maybe any actual believer these days, because it is overtly about the whole earth one. But yet it is also sort of Habakkuk as well. He sees this burden about some time. And there is a prophet who poses a question, who may or may not be Habakkuk. Because it seems to me like whoever the person asking the questions are is in the time that the Lord's reply. I will work a work in your days which you would not believe, though it were told to you. It's implied it is in the future, because Habakkuk is a prophet of God. And then, he also, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, on Shinglonoth, which is the beginning of chapter 3. And he seems to have thoughts about he has clearly seen God marching through the land, trampling the nations in anger, so forth and so forth. So pay attention. There are 3 parts. The first is a question posed by the prophet and God's answer. Then the prophet poses a second question, and that's where we got to when they shanked me. Then chapter 2 is God's answer to that. And then chapter 3 is, Habakkuk's prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, on Shinglonoth, and kind of his response to the second answer. And that's it. 3 chapters, here we go. The burden which the prophet Habakkuk saw. O Lord, how long shall I cry and you will not hear? Even cry out to you, violence, and you will not save? Why do you show me iniquity and cause me to see trouble? For plundering and violence are before me. There is strife and contention arises. Therefore, the law is powerless and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous. Therefore, perverse judgments proceed. And the Lord replies, verse 5, look among the nations and watch. Be utterly astounded, for I will work a work in your days which you would not believe, though it were told to you. Though it were told you. Look among the nations and watch. Be utterly astounded, for I will work a work in your days which you would not believe, though it were told you. For indeed I am raising up the Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which marches through the breadth of the earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity proceed from themselves. Their horses also are swifter than leopards, and more fierce than evening wolves. Their chargers charge ahead, their cavalry comes from afar, they fly as the eagle that hastens to eat. They all come for violence. Their faces are set like the east wind. They gather captives like sand. They scoff at kings, and princes are scorned by them. They deride every stronghold, for they heap up earthen mounds and seize it. Then his mind changes, and he transgresses. He commits offense, ascribing this power to his God. Verse 12. The prophet's second question. Excuse me. Are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have appointed them for judgment. O Rock, you have marked them for correction. You are of purer eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on wickedness. Why do you look on those who deal treacherously, and hold your tongue when the wicked devours a person more righteous than he? Why do you make men like fish of the sea, like creeping things that have no ruler over them? They take up all of them with a hook. They catch them in their net and gather them in their dragnet. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice to their net and burn incense to their dragnet, because by them their share is sumptuous and their food plentiful. Shall they therefore empty their net and continue to slay nations without pity? I will stand my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what he will say to me and what I will answer when I'm corrected. When God will say to me, I will stand my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what God will say to me and what I will answer when I am corrected. Then the Lord answered me and said, he's saying me, so in a way it's Habakkuk. But, or at least, whatever it is, you will understand why I believe it's about this time verbatim. So coming out of the second question, I will stand my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what God will say to me and what I will answer when I am corrected. Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, the proud, his soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Behold, the proud, his soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Indeed, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, and he does not stay at home, because he enlarges his desire as hell, and he is like death, and cannot be satisfied. He gathers to himself all nations, and heaps up for himself all peoples. Will not all these take up a proverb against him, and a taunting riddle against him, and say, woe to him who increases what is not his? How long? And to him who loads himself with many pledges? Will not your creditors rise up suddenly? Will they not awaken who oppress you, and you will become their booty? Because you have plundered many nations, all the remnant of the people shall plunder you, because of men's blood and the violence of the land and the city, and of all who dwell in it. Will not all these take up a proverb against him and a taunting riddle against him, and say, woe to him who increases what is not his? How long? And to him who loads himself with many pledges? Will not your creditors rise up suddenly? Will they not awaken who oppress you, and you will become their booty? Because you have plundered many nations, all the remnant of the people shall plunder you, because of men's blood and the violence of the land and the city, and of all who dwell in it. Woe to him who covets evil gain for his house. Woe to him who covets evil gain for his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of disaster. You give shameful counsel to your house, cutting off many peoples, and sin against your soul. For the stone will cry out from the wall, and the beam from the timbers will answer it. Woe to him who builds a town with bloodshed, who establishes a city by iniquity. Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that peoples labor to feed the fire, and nations weary themselves in vain? For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of God, of the glory of the Lord. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of God, as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbor, pressing him to your bottle, even to make him drunk, that you may look on his nakedness. You are filled with shame instead of glory. You also drink, and be exposed as uncircumcised. The cup of the Lord's right hand will be turned against you, and utter shame will be on your glory. The Lord's right hand is Jesus, and the cup, what's the cup of Christ? He's got this water that's different, savvy? The cup of the Lord's right hand will be turned against you, and utter shame will be on your glory. For the violence done to Lebanon will cover you, and the plunder of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and the violence of the land and the city, and of all who dwell in it. What profit is the image that its maker should carve it? The molded image, a teacher of lies, that the maker of its mold should trust in it, to make mute idols. Woe to him who says to wood, awake, to silent stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is overlaid with gold and silver, yet in it there is no breath at all. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. That doesn't mean keep your trap shut about treason and don't help him. You have to help God. You have to hold up your end of the bargain. If you want to be like the Jesus thing where you just got to believe. Bullshit, you just have to believe. Believe implies you believe it so you help. What do you believe? You believe you don't have to help and you can hide your deeds in the dark and you're a Christian because you espouse with your mouth that you believe? Is that what a believer is? If you just raise your hand in the church when the pastor says the shit, you're fine? Bullshit! What of that pastor? Is he fine because he does that and keeps his trap shut about treason? But all the ways he's gonna brag and preach, and must we have more? Ready to witness again. Burn in hell if you believe that. The priests and the pastors and all the big shot Christians have erred through intoxicating drink and are out of the way and are in jeopardy of hellfire because they would get punished way worse than the Satanist. The Christian who's a Satanist but espouses Jesus to trap and tricks and ruin, to build up faith just to tear it down, and now we're lying. It's not dead. That wouldn't trick somebody who understands. No, I bet it is. We're not impressed by your demon shit or your schma-reek. Or look at the fire with the fire angels. But Jesus, yeah, Jesus, and the angels. You're not supposed to worship angels or even do that, schma-freak. Christian. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silent. Silence before him. Shut your trap with you're gonna preach. I have one teacher, Jesus. He said you do not do that. You do not hide your deeds in the dark, and yay, Biden or fucking Trump. Oh, we care about politics. No, you care about divide and conquer, and you love the people you fight with on the other side of the aisle best. Because you're in on the plan, the Palpatine thing, yo. It's pathetic. The practical applications of your down by law and it won't work. No, journalists. We'll execute you legally if you keep it up because we'll catch what you did last summer. You are covering up a goddamn near Holocaust. It's more of an ideology, but yes, that's what Holocausts are, Reek. We want free speech. You disagree, so you'll kill us. And nothing going on the news. Fuck you. And your fucking Chinese drones you're sending over Lyndhurst, New Jersey there to wear a mask. Get back. Burn! Chapter 3. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet on Shigionoth. O Lord, I have heard your speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive your work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make it known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. His brightness was like the light. He had rays flashing from his hand, and there his power was hidden. Before him went pestilence, and fever followed at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He looked and startled the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills bowed. His ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction. The curtains of the land of Midian trembled. O Lord, you were displeased with the rivers. Was your anger against the rivers? Was your wrath against the sea that you rode on your horses, your chariots of salvation? Your bow was made quite ready. Oaths were sworn over your arrows. You divided the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered its voice and lifted its hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of your arrows they went, at the shining of your glittering spear. You marched through the land in indignation. You trampled the nations in anger. You went forth for the salvation of your people, for salvation with your anointed. You struck the head from the house of the wicked by laying bare from foundation to neck. Selah. You marched through the land in indignation. You trampled the nations in anger. You went forth for the salvation of your people, for salvation with your anointed. You struck the head from the house of the wicked by laying bare from foundation to neck. Selah. You thrust through with his own arrows the head of his villages. They came out like a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was like feasting on the poor in secret. You walked through the sea with your horses, through the heap of great waters. When I heard, my body trembled. My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he comes up to the people, he will invade them with his troops. Though the fig tree may not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, though the labor of the olive may fall, and the fields yield no food, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. And you can just eat shit about it, Satanist. The Lord God is my strength. He will make my feet like deer's feet, and he will make me walk on my high hills. I don't give a shit what you say, you fucking fake atheist. You're a fucking wicked, not an atheist. Hey, wait a minute. In God I trust. I'm not taking it off my fucking coin, because you say I can't do that anymore. But you're gonna censor me and shadow ban me, and it's a state matter. To the chief musicians with my stringed instruments, your bow was made quite ready. Your bow was made quite ready. Oaths were sworn over your arrows, Selah. God came from Taman, the Holy One from Mount Paran, Selah. What profit is the image that its maker should carve it and be a fucking stupid idiot that's gonna censor shit? You better understand. Oh, no. You don't do that.